I want to talk about something real quick. I want to talk about the game that's going to kill Fortnite right here, right now. No, I'm kidding. But there is a lot of hype around Call of Duty Warzone after having played it a lot last night. I just kind of want to talk about how I feel about it and how it compares to Fortnite, and also like what this means for Fortnite moving forward, what it means for the Battle Royale genre moving forward. First of all, they're very different games, even though they're both battle royales, but they're also very similar in some ways. So there's definitely going to be some cross-play of players from Warzone to Fortnite. I don't know why you keep swinging. You lose that fight. Wow. And the game's really well done. It runs really smooth, especially because it has 150 players. You would expect it to lag a lot. It really does run extremely smooth. And right now, since it just launched, it's been doing extremely well on Twitch. It's actually been beating out Fortnite for the past 3 or 4 days since it's been out. That's not like necessarily surprising. Whenever there's a new game with a lot of hype behind it, like a Call of Duty, it's going to be on top of Twitch for a while. And a lot of the top streamers, Dr. Disrespect, Summit, XUC, Tim the Tatman, you know, they're all streaming it on Twitch. So, but it's had a pretty good start, like averaging 200K plus viewers. It's been on top of Fortnite since its launch. Now, is that hype gonna last? We will have to see. And he's drinking shields. Like averaging 200K viewers. It peaked at like 500K. But why am I talking about this while I'm playing Fortnite? Well, when Apex Legends dropped, right? COD Warzone has 6 million people playing it already, right? On its first 24 hours. Apex Legends, for example, had 2.4 million, which is crazy, right? But it's kind of expected because Call of Duty is a more popular, well-known, you know, IP. Here's the thing about what happened when Apex launched. When Apex launched, a lot of people and a lot of streamers were playing it. A lot of them were sponsored to play it, but some of them continue to play it. I wasn't sponsored to play Call of Duty Warzone, so I just want you guys to know right now that I'm speaking purely like from a unbiased perspective. Was not paid to play the game or say anything nice about the game. I played the game last night. Extremely fun game. I loved it, right? The thing is, when Apex came out, Fortnite reacted and they added like the X8, you know, support a creator code. They gave away the free skins. Now, to be fair, it's not doing as well on YouTube. Fortnite is still like dominating on YouTube, but usually YouTube takes a little bit more time before a game, you know, really takes off on YouTube. I'm just thinking like, what are things that Epic can add to the game to make Fortnite like more exciting? I'm just thinking like if they threw in Siphon, if they brought in some new stuff, they brought in vehicles like that. Like I think the helicopter is honestly going to drop next week, based off of just the leaks and based off of the data that we know. I think helicopters are going to drop next week. That definitely can change things, hopefully for the better, but it also could potentially change things for the worse. It just depends on how like powerful the helicopter is and how like if it has enough counters or not. Because if it doesn't have enough counters and you're going against a helicopter, it's going to be a problem. Another thing I want to talk about, I want to talk about things that Warzone does that I wish Fortnite did. Because like, let's be honest here. You know, other games have copied things that Fortnite does, right? But Fortnite has also copied things that other games do. And as a video game player, I don't care who copies who. Like, as long as no one's like breaking copyright law. Apex Legends had the reboot system. Everyone loved the reboot system because you can bring people down who got thirsted. And then like, I don't know, a month later, Fortnite introduced rebooting into the game. But I wasn't angry. I wasn't like, oh, Fortnite copied Apex. Even though I was playing Apex at the time, I was like, okay, now both games are cool because both games have this cool mechanic of rebooting down players. So, all right, so thinking about things that Warzone does properly that I wish Fortnite would copy. When you die in Call of Duty Warzone, you go to this gulag place where you fight 1v1 against another player. And if you win in that 1v1, you get to come back into the fight. You redeploy. Now, I don't know exactly how that would work in Fortnite scenario, because in that game, you can get looted pretty quickly. Like when you fly back down, you can get looted pretty quickly. Like in Fortnite, if you're like in the middle of a match, you're flying back down with like a pistol and 100 wood, it's a little tougher to get back into it. So you might just end up getting killed again. So we don't really know how that would play out, to be honest with you. Like I said, it doesn't have to be exactly like that, but I feel like that mechanic makes the game just so much more action-packed. Honestly, every time I get into those Gulag 1v1s, it's like a different game within a game. And that's something that COD Warzone does a really good job of, is they have like multiple games within the games, from the contracts where you put a bounty on people's heads and you try to kill them for like gold, to the Gulag 1v1 fights. Like Fortnite should think about doing something like that. Another thing that I found very interesting, I'm gonna sound a little bit ignorant on the topic because I'm not a game coder. I don't understand servers or lag. All right. Call of Duty Warzone has 150 players in its pre-game lobby. And in the actual game, it has 150 players. Yet, I don't experience lag when I'm playing that game, or extreme frame drops. And that game has better graphics than Fortnite, and it has more players. Now, sure, that game doesn't have building, and I feel like building in Fortnite is a big cause of the lag in the game. It's definitely a little disappointing, especially the past couple of weeks. Fortnite, for me personally, I've been having these weird frame drops and stutters, but that's just something I noticed when I was playing COD Warzone, is that game does run pretty smooth considering it has 150 players in it. So we'll have to see how that pans out. But I'm excited because when games are competing against each other, they both end up better. That's just how it works. That was a really awkward fight. When Apex dropped, man, Fortnite got really fun, really fast. And then they also did the support a creator bonus. It's always good when there's competition between games. And I see a lot of people like argue or fight against each other. They're like, no, Fortnite's gonna be the bigger game, or no, Warzone's gonna, you know, screw Fortnite. And that's just not the right attitude to have. Like, I want both games. Because what happens when both games are good? Did this guy just die to the NPC? Bro, I think he did. When both games are good, they compete against each other and they just keep improving because both developers want their game to be the better game. You know, I want to have like a civil conversation in the chat right now on Twitch. And then if you're watching this on YouTube, you know, let's keep it civil, guys. No need to go crazy. We all are video game players. We all want cool video games to play. What was this guy thinking? The thing about new games that come out that make them like lose to Fortnite is updates. Something that's recently changed that Epic has kind of put forward is the expectation of updates. Fortnite at its peak, not so much recently, but at its peak, it was updating like weekly. Like every week there was something new. Every week there was a new item, a new gun, a new vehicle. It slowed down a bit, but even at Fortnite's slowest point, even when there was like little to no updates last season, right? Season 1 had like very few updates. It had the harpoon gun and a few other things. Like it was super slow in terms of updates. Yet that was faster than Apex Legends in terms of updates within a season. That was much better than Apex Legends. Apex Legends took forever to update after they launched. So what could very easily happen to Warzone is people are playing it right now. They're having a great time. But eventually, everyone's going to want more stuff, like more updates, more guns, changes, balance fixes. And if the guys over at Call of Duty aren't able to fix that in time or to update the game fast enough compared to like how Fortnite is constantly changing, eventually people stop playing and they just kind of drop off. There's always that new vibe with a new game. Everyone's trying to figure it out. Everyone's trying to learn. And then once they've learned and understand the game, they start noticing the bugs because they're kind of like experienced with the games, and they know how things should go. And when they don't go that way, they're like, okay, this is broken, this needs to be fixed, or this gun's too powerful, that needs to be nerfed, or we don't have enough of this, we need more variety. So that is eventually going to happen, and if they're not able to keep up with some of the demands, then they're going to get screwed and people are going to stop playing. And something that Fortnite does really well is they keep people playing by keeping it fresh. So surprised by that shot, to be honest with you. Why am I I will heal up to full. Gotta be ready for him to trade. He's trying to trade hits every single opportunity. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time for the shenanigans. We gotta push you down, Anonymous. I gotta be honest, I don't like the whole loadout thing where you can get your own loadout. Some people like it. I personally don't. It doesn't feel BR enough. I wouldn't want Fortnite to do that. But I do like the money system. You know how like this season was like the season of gold, and then there was like the gold currency that people found in the game. What if they had some sort of buy stations? At every reboot van, you can also purchase things with gold currency. And gold currency was something that you looted. You got off of people that you killed. You know, they added contracts. Dude, like I know, like, oh, they're copying the game. But, dude, that would slap in Fortnite as well. Like, that would be actually really good in Fortnite. Like, you could buy shields. Imagine if you could buy shields. Like, you collected enough coins. Let's say your RNG sucks. You open 17 chests. Like I did one time. Got no shields. But you got a bunch of coins. And then you open up those coins. Dang. You open up. This guy had loot, bro. Holy moly. Pump. How does... You're crazy. Like imagine you collect enough currency. And then with that currency, you can buy shields, or you could buy a launch pad, right? I don't know, man. That's just, for me, that just sounds really cool. And I think Epic might eventually do something like that, because like they've like teased the gold currency in the game. Like they've shown, like gold currency was in the game. I don't know if it was on purpose or if it was just supposed to be like a little hint. But then it was not in the game, and I don't know if it still is. There, you could go get it at that cabin over there near Weeping Woods. Vending machines existed, but those required materials, man. A lot of times people don't want to spend their mats to buy a purple pistol. You know, like... Doesn't seem like there's a reason he wants. I think he just... There we go. He survived that fall. He's trying to drink a potion in the open. What a strange player, huh? Seems to be obsessed with the high ground, but doesn't really know what to do with it. Fortnite doesn't need to do more things. They can keep it simple and be amazing. I think... Landing with pistol? Oh, you do land with a pistol in Warzone. I wouldn't like that in Fortnite, though. Because I think there's too much that can go wrong with landing with a pistol. It does reduce the RNG slightly, but it also changes up the dynamic a lot. I don't know. We'll have to see. The double team, baby. The double team. I feel bad. This is how it has to be. Guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about the discussion in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time for some more commentary and Fortnite gameplay and whatever we got going on. Make sure you like that video. I'll see you guys next time.